Great Saturday morning, everybody. Hey, this is Bishop Joyce walking the Word of God with you on this very great day. Well, God bless everybody. Well, we're at the end of Jonah, the first chapter, 13 through the 17th verse. Well, the men was at the end of the ship, on the ship, and they was trying to figure out how to do what's right concerning Jonah. And Jonah kept telling them, hey, just throw me overboard and the ship would be fine and you would be safe. But the men, they had integrity as well, and they was just crying out to the Lord, well, Lord, I don't want to be responsible for the one who was ending this man of God, because remember now, Jonah was a prophet. He was the man of God, and they don't want to be responsible for tossing this man of God overboard. And so that in itself, they had integrity and character too, because they knew that because he was a man of God, they didn't want Jonah's God to come back and get them. And so as people of God and people, we should understand this and how we should always want to do right towards our men and women of God, and just not men and women of God, just Christians totally. And so they didn't want to do anything wrong against Jonah and Jonah's God. And so they cried out to Jonah's God, and as we should do, we should cry out to our God and always want to really go to God in prayer, in which they did. And so anything that we don't know ourselves, because I don't know everything truly, and that's why we should always go to prayer. And as these men did, they went to prayer and tried to ask God, and they went to God. God, I want to do what's right concerning Jonah. I want to do what's right. And so when was the last time you went to God about a situation, not your opinion, not what you thought, what you thought was best? And we get in a lot of trouble with our opinion. When someone comes to talk to you, you don't have an opinion. If you don't have the Word of God to put to that, you are just talking about what you think, what your opinion is. And I just love the fact that these men of God they didn't have no opinion about anything. They had the Word of God. So they went to God about what they thought was best concerning Jonah. And so inevitably, they tossed Jonah overboard. But even when they tossed Jonah overboard, God had a way of escape for Jonah. Yes, we know the story that a whale swallowed Jonah up. And even with that, Jonah was there for 3 days, and he was protected, and Jonah was swallowed up. And see, even with that, oftentimes God have to swallow us up. He has to protect us. God sometimes have to sit us down, because when we disobey God, God have to have us in a holding place. It may be 3 days, it may be 3 weeks, it may be 3 months, it may be 3 years, it may be 3 minutes. We don't know what it is when God have you in a holding place when you disobey God. But inevitably, you're going to have to do what God would have you to do. When it all ends, yes, Jonah went on to do what God had to do in the very next chapter, because when God have you in a holding place, you will do what God would have you to do. So on today, pray to God, always seek God, and just do what God would have you to do. Have people surrounding you, because whatever you do is going to be connected to other people when you disobeying God. So God bless everybody on today. We had a great time studying this very chapter on Jonah. Remember, do not forsake to assemble with one another. Always go to God with everything that you need to do, and put the Word of God on it, not your opinion. God bless everybody. This is Bishop Joyce walking in the Word of God. God bless.